I was going to come up here and, ask, I had two poems, and I was going to ask if I wanted me to read something funny or something kind of weird. But then I just decided I was going to read something weird, because last year they had me do this, and I read how poorly I handled myself around women, and it worked great. But today I kind of want to read something I wrote. It's more around the idea of first love, and if I hear snoring, I might come out there. But anyways, this is dedicated to a friend of mine named Hannah, and I apologize if I'm trying to. I have some words in here that I had to take out. And, it should be good. But we'll see. We'll see if it's out. But anyways, this is called Little Astrid. So every time I sit down to write, my mind takes flight into the recesses of my brain. It digs deep enough, but not so deep as to keep me sane, yet she has been lingering in the back of my mind for quite a while. All thoughts in single file, she disrupts this orderly process, and despite my attempts to extinguish her spark, she lights a bulb, leaving a permanent mark. She lights the bulb. The colors of sunflower glow bright yellow, sparking the proverbial bulb. I can't let go, churning my thirst for nostalgia. She appears to me, reminding me that I was the one who let go, but I can't let go now. I never seem to be able to let go. And regardless, she appears in my thoughts. Little Astrid wants to come outside. She wants to play. She comes outside on the snowiest of days. Check in scene as I conjure up snow, beautiful white December eve, as I stand here and try to retrieve my thoughts. Let me relieve myself and say that it was my father I did deceive. But shit, he didn't know the half of it. He didn't know it was her I was off to see. She, the foundation of this nostalgic soliloquy. You see, I say these words at a pace quite fixed with the rate fast pace of my heart. Nervousness thrown in the mix. Yes, my teenage rebellion sought to create a little anarchy. But this level of intimacy was far beyond me. Or so I thought, arriving in a discreet location known to her and I. She smiled with a smile that could make snow cry. She knew what was on my mind. Step back and rewind to a time when I remember telling her that I was no good at this. Like a kid with a set of blocks, I have not been able to construct a solid base for an architecture that has experienced more weather than you could imagine. She knew what she was doing, like all women. She guided me. Still unknown as to how I would react, I followed her, trusting her with everything I had, my hands, my vision, my mind, my body. Preparation must be made for chills like this, for only warmth can quench such cold effects. But unbeknownst to us both, candles were a waste of money. I would find true warmth within the crevices of her being. Note to self, I can't believe I wasted my last $5 on those frickin' red candles, for in the end, it didn't matter. Deceiving parental law as well as breaking and entering, we entered that house carrying candles, 2 sleeping bags, mediocre sets of warm clothing, and each other. Hearts intertwined, ready for the bitter cold, we crawled through the secret escape. 2 adventurers on a path, one that can only have good outcomes, since outcomes in themselves are influenced inherently by observation. Fate had served us well so far, for after all, we are covered up above by a blanket of stars. And as those stars wrapped her tightly into a deep sleep, I stayed up, reminiscing about this house that sheltered me. For every star one can count in the night sky, I could remember just as much memories in this old house. You see, she had made it a part of me. Yet this house welcomes her so distantly, shivers. She shivers. The blanket of stars wasn't enough. Looking down at my body, I knew I didn't have much. But yet with the thin, non-masculine brown body I had, I was determined. I leaped into the gaps of time and wrapped my arms tightly around her until the celestial blanket disappeared. The shivers stopped. Our heat consolidated to where clothes were no longer a necessity, but rather a hindrance to a closeness that even I have no encounter to this day. Blame it on love or hormones or what have you, but to say that our age was of the teens means nothing. Since the love preceded was timeless, there was enough warmth there for a village of people. And see, I was in a new world. I was in a world where when you hold someone like that, you are no longer embracing a childish romance. You undertake a certain responsibility, and see, this responsibility is rarely articulated, but rather inherent inside you and I. To hold someone with such grip not only means you care, but you dare to protect them for any harm they might fare. Share the pain of any quiver in their body, physically or mentally. I still feel her warmth shivers down my spine when it's below 32 degrees. I still feel those shivers dissipate when the sun has reached my face. And as those sunbeams pass my face, they find a set of flowers. When you stare at a set of flowers, you may think they're all the same, but in a world like this, you might start to think the problem of the old world can be attributed to the fact that people allow themselves to be treated as another dull singularity, and instead of the fact that people allow themselves to be treated that way. But all flowers are rather beautiful, unique color in the spectrum of flowers. Truly, she knew what she was talking about. And now I lay here, protecting her from the world, while she teaches me to embrace the world, to paint over the shades of black and white, but to blend them with the many colors in my hand, to strive and create, for black and white are colors, just waiting to be used, not neglected and abused, but to be on a palette renewed. So I tell you, go outside and play. Throw those colors around and paint a picture, whether simple or complex. For that night, I learned that I was her architect, and she my painter. And together, we colored this world, one shade at a time.